As an INFJ, you've mastered the art of appearing calm. To the outside world, you're composed, thoughtful, maybe even unreadable, but what they don't see, what they'll probably never understand, is the chaos beneath the surface. Your mind is always on, always processing. You're analyzing the smallest interactions, replaying conversations, trying to make sense of things no one else even notices. And while people think you're quiet because you're peaceful, the truth is you're quiet because there's a storm going on inside. You feel everything deeply, and yet you carry it in silence, not because you want to, but because most people simply wouldn't get it. You overthink almost everything because you feel responsible for outcomes others ignore. As an INFJ, your mind doesn't just observe, it absorbs. You don't just see what's happening, you think about why it's happening, what it means, and what might come next. You replay moments long after they're over, wondering if you said the right thing, if someone misunderstood you, if you could have handled it better. Not because you're insecure, but because you feel responsible in ways others don't. You carry the emotional weight of situations, even ones that weren't yours to fix. You overthink not to seek control, but to protect, to avoid hurting others, to avoid being misunderstood, to prevent future regret. Most people move on quickly. You don't. Your mind won't let you, because for you, every small action feels connected to something bigger. And while that makes you incredibly thoughtful, it also means your brain rarely gets a break. You sense people's energy and hidden emotions without them saying a word. You've always picked up on what others miss. It's not just what someone says, it's how they say it. The shift in their tone, the flicker in their eyes, the way they avoid certain words. You notice it all. As an INFJ, you feel energy before logic kicks in. You can walk into a room and instantly sense if something's off, even if everyone else thinks things are fine. It's not something you try to do, it just happens. You read people without needing details. And sometimes that gift feels like a curse. Because while others take things at face value, you feel what they're hiding. Their sadness, resentment, confusion. It all hits you, even when they smile. And while that makes you incredibly empathetic, it also means you carry emotions that aren't even yours. It's exhausting to feel so much, especially when you know they'll never say it out loud, but you already know. You always do. You carry emotional pain quietly, afraid others won't understand your depth anymore. You felt things so deeply it hurt, but you rarely talk about it, not because you don't want to, but because when you've tried in the past, you were met with blank stares, quick solutions, or surface level responses that made you feel even more alone. As an INFJ, your emotional world runs deeper than most people realize. You process layers of meaning, intention, and memory all at once. But how do you explain that to someone who's never felt that kind of intensity? So instead, you carry it quietly. You smile, function, keep conversations light, even when your heart feels heavy, because deep down, you're afraid if you truly opened up, no one would know what to do with the weight you're holding. You've learned to be your own safe space, even when it means suffering in silence. And while you may look calm on the outside, your inner world tells a much more complex story. You replay conversations in your head, analyzing every word and meaning. After most people walk away from a conversation, they move on, but not you. As an INFJ, the moment it's over is often when it truly begins for you. Your mind rewinds everything, the tone in their voice, the way they paused, the words they used or didn't use. You replay it, dissect it, and wonder what it really meant. Not because you're paranoid, but because you care about meaning, about intention, about understanding the truth beneath the surface. You want to be sure you didn't say something wrong, that you didn't miss something important, and sometimes you overanalyze to the point of exhaustion. You lie awake at night thinking, did I say too much? Did I come off distant? Should I have asked more? It's like your brain refuses to let go until it feels resolved, even if the other person moved on hours ago. That's the INFJ mind, always searching for clarity in a world that rarely offers it. You often feel like an outsider, even in rooms full of people who know you. Even when you're surrounded by familiar faces, there's this quiet feeling that you're still separate, still on the outside looking in. As an INFJ, you can be fully present in a room, laughing, listening, participating, and yet still feel disconnected. It's not that you don't care about the people around you, you do deeply, but there's a part of you that always feels unseen, Like no one truly understands how you experience the world, your thoughts, your values, the way your mind connects dots others don't even notice. It makes you feel like you're speaking a language no one else hears. You can feel warmth and distance at the same time, connection and isolation in the same moment. And that's what makes being an INFJ so complex. You crave belonging, but not at the surface level. You want to be seen in your depth. And until that happens, you often feel like a guest in your own life, quietly wondering if anyone else feels the same. You crave deep connection, but protect yourself behind strong emotional walls. You want connection more than most people realize, not just conversation or company, but deep soul-level understanding. As an INFJ, surface interactions feel hollow. You want someone who can meet you in the quiet corners of your mind, someone who sees beyond your smile and asks, "What are you really feeling?" But at the same time, you guard your heart like it's made of glass, not because you're cold, but because you've been hurt. You've opened up before, only to feel misunderstood, dismissed, or used. So now you're careful. You observe, you wait, you test the waters before letting anyone in. And even when someone gets close, part of you still stays hidden, afraid that if they saw everything, they might not stay. It's this constant tug of war, the desire to be known, and the instinct to protect yourself from being wounded again. That inner conflict is exhausting, but it's also your way of surviving in a world that doesn't always know what to do with someone who feels as deeply as you do. You're constantly balancing your desire to help others with your need to be alone. You've always felt a deep pull to be there for people, to listen, support, guide, even when no one asked you to. As an INFJ, it's instinctual. You can sense when someone's hurting, even if they don't say a word, and part of you feels responsible, like it's your role to help ease that pain. But at the same time, there's another part of you that just wants space, to disconnect, to breathe, to be alone in your own thoughts without absorbing everyone else's emotion. And that's where the internal battle begins. You want to give, but not at the cost of your peace. You want to show up, but not disappear in the process. So you walk this delicate line, being there for others while trying to protect your own energy. Some days you get it right. Other days you end up emotionally drained, wondering why even kindness can leave you feeling empty. It's a constant balancing act between compassion and self-preservation, and most people have no idea how much effort it takes just to maintain that quiet middle ground. You appear calm, but inside your thoughts and feelings rarely rest. On the outside, you're steady, calm, composed. People often describe you as peaceful, grounded, even unshakable. But what they don't see is what's happening beneath the surface. As an INFJ, your mind is always moving. You're constantly analyzing, reflecting, feeling, processing, layers of emotion and meaning all at once. Even in stillness, there's a storm inside you. You think about the past, the future, the subtle shifts in someone's tone, the energy in a room, the direction of your life, all in a single moment. You might look relaxed, but inside, there's a world that never sleeps. And you've gotten so good at hiding it that people rarely suspect how overwhelmed or overstimulated you truly are. You've taught yourself to carry the chaos with grace, to seem calm even when your thoughts are tangled. But just because you look okay doesn't mean you don't need space to breathe, because inside that quiet expression is a mind that never really rests and a heart that feels everything. If this feels like your inner world, calm on the outside, chaotic within, you're not alone. As an INFJ, your depth is your strength, even when it feels heavy. This space is here for you to feel seen, understood, and never judged. So if you're tired of being misunderstood, subscribe and stay close. Here, your mind finally has a place to breathe.